Best of r/Tales from Tech Support episode 64. Subscribe for edit videos daily. Backstory. So I work the help desk for a robotics company that specializes in autonomous robots that deliver supplies and equipment to certain departments/facilities in the healthcare industry. So, the pharmacy at a hospital will have their supplies for the day delivered from someone in the arrivals department of a hospital. Or there might be garbage that needs to be dropped off and the robot will take an elevator down to the basement and drop it off and wait for its next job. Stuff like that. Well, last night, I get a call from one of our hospitals. Company name help desk, this is my name, how can I help you? The guy on the other end starts off with UHH. Hey, and then tells me that one of the robots is stopped in a hallway. I log into it through our software to see him on the map and see that he was stopped near the pharmacy because a fire alarm had apparently gone off earlier and he's supposed to pull off to the side to give people enough space to go up and down the hallway. Well, I'm right near the pharmacy. Can I just take what I need from it to the pharmacy? Usually I'd say yes, but I'd never heard this person call before. He also has yet to give his name, and his sentences took forever to complete. I then check out our database of specific users and certain departments we're supposed to talk with and call the pharmacy. Hey, this is my name from the company name help desk. I'm calling because it looks like the robot that's on the way to make a delivery to you guys is stopped because of a fire alarm. And there's someone asking if they can just bring the supplies over to you guys. Did you send him? 3-second pause UHH. No, we didn't. Hold on. The lady on the other end leaves and puts me on hold. She comes back a few minutes later. Yeah, I had no idea who that was. He looked like he was completely out in space somewhere. Probably a junkie, and she's probably right. That robot was probably carrying hypodermic needles and drugs that could sell for a pretty penny. I feel bad for the dude and his addiction, but people need that stuff. I asked if he was violent or anything and she said he just ran away when he saw her coming, so I guess it's good no one got hurt. Thank you. Next. So to start off, here's a little background. I spend half my day in an IT class and the rest in my high school. My math teacher asked me to stay after class a little and I assumed it was because of the last test. I had a bad feeling I bombed it. I was pleasantly surprised to find out one of his friends, let's call her BO business owner, needed some help because her new laptop wasn't working and couldn't connect to anything. It seemed simple enough. So I called the number he gave me and didn't get a response. Okay, I thought BO is probably working. A few days later I call again, no answer still, but I get a voicemail the next day saying the problem. Her laptop would not turn on and hadn't since the day she got it. This goes on for a couple weeks with usually me calling back as soon as I get out of school or when I woke up. She would call around 10 in the morning, then again around midnight. She however would take days and even up to 3 calls to call back. We never actually got into a call, but she asked if I could come in on the following Monday at noon. Keep in mind that I am in a school and don't get out till 3 along with having track. Here is where everything went down. BO hello OP, can you come in Monday at noon to fix this since it has been almost a month and it isn't fixed. Also, I know I had mentioned possibly giving you $10 an hour for this. I don't think I can anymore since you have taken so long. 5 hours later. Me, hi BO, I cannot come in Monday at all because I have school and a track meet. The earliest I can come in is either next Friday after 4 or I can come on Sunday around noon. The other option is if you can, I can call in about 45 minutes to help over the phone. This was on a Wednesday night. Sunday at 4 PM. BO. Screaming, why didn't you come at noon today and I still don't have my laptop working. If you do not come in tomorrow at noon I will block your number. At this point I was done with her. She screamed at a phone with no one on the other line. I was out with friends because she had never responded, and was threatening to block my number without responding to calls in any hurry. 2 hours later after getting home. Me, hi, I'm sorry that your laptop still is not working, but I can still not skip school to come to your shop and help you. If you want to block my number it is okay because I have no loss in this. If your computer hasn't been working since the day you got it, please try plugging it in, irritated, and make sure you're pressing the power button. Thank you, have a great day. The next day at 1. BO hello OP, I have tried your suggestions and the battery was dead. Moral of the story, I spent a month trying to actually get in a phone call to end up it not being charged. Facepum. Thank you. Next. I was at a non-technical not important meeting before my office opens. After hours calls ring on my cell phone. Get a call from one of my large clients. It is my favorite, non-ironic, clients. A sweet lady that is a bit nervous, but she gives me hugs and baked goods. She said that when she goes to open files there are files that have squiggly lines in front of the name. My brain goes from 0 to 100 and thinking encryptovirus. I am 10 minutes from their office and my laptop in my bag, so it would take me about the same amount of time to remote into their server. I tell her to turn off her PC and I take off. In my mind I am cancelling everything for the day and going through the doctor plan. Rush over to her facility. Get there in 9 minutes. Her PC is off and I notice everyone else is working. Go onto another PC and the shared file are still there. Relaxed enough to go to the restroom. Get on her PC and have her log in. Her PC seems fine. Reconnect to the server and she shows me the files. They were a few files with that she said was not there before. I change the folder view settings for hidden files and they disappear. Crisis over and she gives me a hug and calls me her knight in shining armor. Thank you. Next. Somewhere, the sun shines on an idyllic meadow. A golden-haired child sits in her summer dress under a floppy hat, collecting flowers from the field and stringing them into long strands that she wears as necklaces. The girl will take them home and give one to her mother to wear, which will remind her of the happy times of her own childhood, when she sat in a sunny field in a floppy hat and made daisy chains of her own. Yes, somewhere, the sun shines. I've previously mentioned that one of my customers had their own internal support staff, and that he had recently departed for greener pastures. 1. While he wasn't the greatest technician I ever had the joys of working with, he was at least partially competent. He was learning scripting, and he could stand up a fresh Windows VM and use it to create a golden image with almost no hand-holding. 1. Greenness of new pastures not guaranteed. No real, imagined, or implied warranties exist regarding quality of the new pastures experience. I met his replacement. ME. Hey, are you new tech? NT? NT. Yes. Hi. ME. I'm Gambit. I've got some equipment here for you that sales guy not appearing in this tale asked me to drop off. NT. Great. Thanks. Bring it back here and, I guess, just add it to the pile. Sure enough. As we stepped into what constituted the combination staging area / workshop / technical office / storeroom / meeting room / broom closet, I was greeted by piles of equipment, some fairly old, some relatively new, all of it filthy and none of it sorted with any visible semblance of order. ME. So, NT. Yeah, anywhere will be fine. With a distinct lack of ceremony, I deposited the box of new equipment on top of the most stable looking pile. ME. Well, the user manual is in the box, but it's identical to the equipment used previously, so I doubt you'll have any issues. NT. Hey, do you know about X? As luck would have it, I'm one of the few people in this part of the country both certified and experienced in X, so to answer yes would be a massive understatement. ME. Yes. NT. Well, I need to get it to talk to the PC. But I can't figure out how to connect it. ME. The short answer is it depends. X can be set up to use one serial communications channel or two. You need to make sure that the X software is configured for 1 or 2 channel communications. That you have working serial cables plugged into the appropriate ports on both the X hardware and the connected PC. And you need to ensure that your PC software is configured correctly for 1 or 2 channel communications, and that the serial port setup is correct. I don't even want to get started on what happens when X is set for 7 even. 1 in the PC serial port is set to 8 none 1. NT. Oh. Sounds complicated. ME. It's not as bad as it sounds. There's 5 or 6 moving parts, but once it's done, it normally doesn't change for the entire life of the equipment. NT. Great. Hey, any idea why I can't get a second screen to display a picture? A quick glance showed me the problem. ME. You've only got one video cable connected to the PC. NT. But it's only got one video port. ME. It has one VGA port. It also has 2 display port sockets. NT. But there's no matching port on the screen. ME. No, there's not. You'll need a DisplayPort to DVI or VGA adapter, I seem to remember that at one point your predecessor had a cupboard full of them, because they were needed for a previous model of PC with the same issue. NT, I haven't seen any. Can't I just plug this one in, indicating the VGA cable, and then plug this one indicating the DVI cable, from the first monitor to the second? For a brief moment, an image of a golden-haired girl flashed through my mind. ME. Unfortunately, daisy chaining monitors isn't possible. NT. Aha. Why don't we use one of these video ports? Headache rapidly growing. My eyes followed his pointing finger. ME. Those are serial ports. And they'll be in use when the PC is running, because X needs to be connected to them. NT. Oh, wait. Can we use USB? ME. Well, I've heard of USB to video adapters, but I've never used one. I can't imagine that it would be cheaper than buying a DisplayPort to DVR adapter. NT. I've got one. I know I saw one. NT delved into a nearby cupboard, from which he produced a cardboard box, overflowing with random cables. I half-heartedly picked at the box, extracting a DisplayPort to mini DisplayPort cable, which was no good to us at all. Meanwhile, NT extracted a familiar-looking semi-transparent cable. NT. This one. I squeezed my eyes closed. The headache wasn't fading. ME. Again, that's a serial port. I climbed back into my company vehicle, somehow aged a decade in the hour I'd been in the building, and rubbed my eyes in a vain attempt to dispel my headache. I also spent a few moments seriously questioning the customer's hiring policies. I punched the button on the hands-free kit as I pulled out of the parking lot and called sales guy not appearing in this tale. If I was going to teach this guy how to be a useful technician, he'd need to get me an open-ended purchase order, starting 2 hours ago. Somewhere, the sun continued to shine on an idyllic meadow. Thank you. Next. So I'm not a tech support person. I'm a paralegal/secretary in a small business/legal firm that basically does whatever is needed for the company. When I say small business, I mean small. The team is basically me, my boss, and my boss's brother. We have another older gentleman who comes in part-time, but he doesn't even know how to use a printer. This story concerns me and my boss's brother. The brother is a well-educated man, 3 degrees and a successful small-town lawyer. However, he very much lacks common sense. One day I was in the office just doing my thing and the boss's brother comes in, asks for some help with the computer. Boss's brother, would you happen to know anything about computers? Me, well, I know a little. Is something wrong? Boss's brother, the computer in the back office that we print from isn't working. Me, what's the computer doing? There had been a large storm the night before in the city. Electric goes off very easily and that can sometimes mess with electronics. Boss's brother, the screen is black. At this point, I'm walking to the back office to look at the computer. Me, well, maybe it got damaged in the lightning storm last night. Did the tower make any noise when you turned it on? Boss's brother, I know. At this point I'm thinking maybe the monitor came unplugged or something, but before he can answer me I get to the back office and look at the tower and it's not even on. Asterisk. Boss's brother, I'm not sure I turned it on. Me, well that might be your problem. I boot up the computer and the monitor works fine. He didn't speak to me for the rest of the day. As a bonus, my boss's brother also asked me to help fix the printer once. It's one of those big industrial size printers that you see in larger offices. It wasn't printing, and when I looked at the screen to see the problem, the printer said the side door was open, so I closed the door and it worked right away. Boss's brother, and you said you didn't know how to fix it, because evidently being able to look at a picture and close a door counts as fixing printers. Thank you. Next. So the board has a conference phone, but the non-technical assistant, NTA, is so non-technical that they use brown parcel tape to tape down the power cord. There is no GSM coverage at the site. The tale continues. NTA, the board needs a new conference phone. The old one is broken. No, make it 2. One for this meeting room and one for the long meeting room. Long meeting room is 5 miles away. Tech, okay, I'll take a look. Tech, finds phone in cupboard and peels brown tape from the cable, and spots that the low voltage cable has been pulled from the strain relief on side of the brick, causing the conductors to short. There is no extension cord in the cupboard and NTA must have stretched LV wires. Tech takes Sue and phone back to office to source replacement. Tech finds replacement online and files for a PO so it can be bought. PO request is sent high priority on a Thursday afternoon with note that it is for the board. Finance. Weekend happens. NTA. On phone. Monday morning. There is a board meeting tomorrow at 1730. Will the phone work? Tech. Finance hasn't approved it yet. The delivery on it is 3 days. Won't be here on time. We will see what we can do. Tech. Orders off-brand replacements for next day courier delivery from electronics firm after measuring DC jack. Went to finance office to ensure it got approved fast. Also required for credit card purchases. Next day. Tech opens package. Tries powering on phone. DC jack won't fit. Tech swears. Tech files project for return and goes to notify finance in office. Runs into NTA at finance. NTA freaks out. Tech assures NTA that we will see what we can do and keep to them in the loop. Tech does surgery on Sue low voltage with electrical tape, thinking all along how fast this would fail a PAT test and how it managed to get through the last one. Tech goes to conference room to test phone with Frankenstein Sue. Tech finds factory new replacement Sue in phone storage cupboard. Tech fast opens. Tech sets up phone on table and runs extension cord, taping it down with duct tape. Tech. Hey NTA, I found a new Sue for the phone and it is now working. NTA. Good. Tech goes back to tech support office and beelines for Sweetie stash in corner. Tech notes to self, get duct tape for the board. Thank you. Next. Me. Boss, recently promoted boss who wants to show off his skills. Co-worker of mine who sits near me and is relevant to the story as he too was involved. Project number 1, a long-time project that has been the company's business for the last years, which has been up and downsized ever so often, but which is a shit show of the highest degree. Project number 2, a well-paying project from a company who insisted on secure work environment and a separate network for security reasons. Project number 2 was the equivalent of a golden goose as there was not much work that needed to be done and paid really well. There is an old joke in Russia that is about 2 generals and a requisition officer. General number 1's car won't turn on but the rec officer tells him he will fix it in a day. Come the next day and General number 1 is presented with his car. He doesn't believe that his car could be fixed so quickly, but as he gets in and starts the engine, is he positively surprised. It does work. Somewhere in the distance you hear yelling of General number 2, why won't my car F% and %% turn on? You will see how this is relevant later.